KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson and the Adai Itano program. All new 2018 Kona by Hyundai, available at Cars Plus. IP&E Fueling Excellence, McDonald's of Guam, I'm Loving It, and King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dededo. Always open, always local.
Ahead on Primetime, customs agents intercept a package containing the drug spice. One woman is taken into custody. Plus, despite some opposition, the Guam National Guard moves ahead with a training exercise held at Adelu. And the lineup is set. The first of 4 finalists for UOG President speaks with the university.
Hafaday and good evening. We begin with the latest on law enforcement's efforts to stop drugs from coming into the island. One woman taken into custody after being caught with spice.
She told authorities she was only holding on to a package until the recipient was released from jail. Now 35-year-old Tenya Rewi is behind bars on drug charges. Court documents state customs officers intercepted the package, which contained 42 packets of suspected spice weighing 207 gross grams. Customs conducted a controlled delivery operation of the package, which led them to Rewi. She admitted to making arrangements with the sender via Facebook and that the items were intended for Bantasar Kosi. Kosi was recently arrested for importation and sale of the synthetic marijuana and is in jail awaiting trial. A 30-year-old man is accused of stabbing his brother-in-law during an argument over beer. KM Corcorio is charged with aggravated assault and family violence. Police responded to a disturbance in Dededo over the weekend. Officers noticed the suspect wrestling with the victim by the roadway. Documents state the suspect had been drinking alcohol and later returned home accusing the victim of stealing his beer and beer money. That's when he allegedly took a chef's knife and struck the victim on the head. On the top of his head, he suffered from a 6-inch cut. Medics treated him on scene.
Now to federal court, where a woman was sentenced for her role in a bank fraud scheme.
While she's since turned her life around for the better, it appears she'll still have to spend some time behind bars. Here's more.
Quote, I commend you for all of this. I am proud of you, and I want you to continue to be motivated, end quote. These words from Chief Judge Francis Tedinko Gatewood on Monday afternoon as she addressed defendant Anne Marie Pangilinan. The 41-year-old woman is just one of several indicted in a bank fraud scheme. According to court documents, they deposit fake checks into multiple bank accounts and withdraw the cash from ATMs before the bank could notice. They collected over $70,000 this way. According to her plea agreement, Pangilinan admitted to being responsible for a total of $2,850. In her plea for leniency, Pangilinan shared her story, her battle with substance abuse that led her to the crime before the court today, and abandoning her children. Pangilinan stating, quote, I chose drugs over them. I had a drug addiction problem. I was not well, end quote. From rock bottom, she found her second chance at Oasis Empowerment Center. Not only has she remained clean and sober, she's reunited with her children and is gainfully employed at Oasis Empowerment Center as a peer recovery specialist and soon-to-be certified substance abuse counselor. Though defense argued against any jail time, the chief judge ultimately handed down a split sentence. Pangilinan, as ordered by the court, will spend 6 months in jail and 6 months in home confinement on electronic monitoring. This was the recommendation from both prosecution and probation. Prosecutor Marivic David also commended the defendant, stating, quote, it's clear to me she has made positive changes, end quote. Several of Pangilinan's co-defendants have already been sentenced. Ruby Nemiker was sentenced to 33 months, Katrina Tautau to 18 months, and Peter Ogo to 41 months. Each of the defendants is responsible for paying back the amounts outlined in their respective plea agreements.
Amelia Tautau was also sentenced late this afternoon to 30 months in jail. Former Chancellor Father Adrian Cristobal has until the end of the week to return to Guam or face sanctions by the church. As we reported, Father Adrian stands 3 times accused of clergy sexual abuse. Though he was reportedly sent to the Diocese of Phoenix to study canon law, the accusations prompted the Archdiocese of Agana to demand his return home and limit his faculties as a priest. Specifically, he cannot celebrate Mass or hear confession. His deadline to return to Guam is Friday, June 15th. In an emailed statement to KUAM, the Archdiocese writes, quote, we pray he does the right thing and complies, end quote.
A public hearing was held Monday on Senator Michael Nicholas's bill to repeal the 2% general sales tax, but the discussion quickly turned to alleged unethical acts by hospital administrators. The first to testify was former department head who blasted the GMH administration for a, quote, failure in leadership. Dr. Kozu Shimabukuro says she was alienated and removed from her position for criticizing what she claims were poor management and budget decisions, outright debt, deceit, and other unprofessional behavior.
Budgeting at GMH is very strange, and it's not based on actual numbers and a fact. For example, I saw chef sitting there, so he can relate to this. Under my division, dietary, I started looking into dietary's budget. No one in that department actually knew how much any materials and food costed, because ordering of the food and some other things were done by another department. As a result, we could not estimate the revenue and loss at the cafeteria in a dietary department. What kind of restaurant function like that?
That was just one example of a long list of her allegations against hospital administrators. She described a variety of questionable moves, some of which she charged were illegal.
The controversy continues over suspect sweetheart deals at the Chamorro Land Trust Commission, which has made headlines on nearly a daily basis for the past few weeks following a litany of indiscretions.
And while the agency's board has sworn to iron out the kinks and ensure the problems are nipped in the bud, it may be the CLTC's highest-ranking staffer who could find himself out of a job. Chris Barnett reports.
In light of the recent controversies surrounding the Chamorro Land Trust, KUAM News hit the campaign trail, asking your gubernatorial candidates for their 2 cents on the state of the trust. Democratic contender Leon Guerrero saying to fix the CLTC, it's not necessarily about what she would do, but what she wouldn't do.
I don't really support a third-party overseer. I don't support a moratorium on it. I support stronger leadership. I support strengthening the regulations.
Leon Guerrero referencing Senator Frank Uggan Jr.'s Bill 284, which calls for both a third-party overseer for the CLTC and a moratorium on the issuance of CLTC leases. Uggan, also a Democrat looking to move into Adelup, is sticking to his guns.
You're going to need someone who understands the rule of law, who's going to have to come in from the outside and ensure that they are able to administer the program according to what is required by law.
Two-term former Governor Carl Gutierrez says part of the problem with the issues at the CLTC, the fox guarding the henhouse. Gutierrez calling into question how effective it is for the CLTC to review itself.
The same people that allowed it to happen are the same guys that are looking at it.
Democrat Senator Dennis Rodriguez Jr. telling KUAM News CLTC leaseholders shouldn't be blamed for the land trust's problems, saying the blame, quote, should be placed squarely on the corrupt officials who have caused this controversy. Land Management Director Mike Bora has escaped the CLTC controversy relatively unscathed, even though he signed off on several relatives' leases for CLTC land, facilitated the clearing of the CLTC's Barragata Heights property without permits, and allowed all of this to occur under his watch.
If you were the governor now and Director Bora was performing the way he's been performing, would you make the call to fire him?
It's hard for me to say because I don't know the whole situation, but I certainly will bring him to my office and he would have to explain what has happened and discuss with him what would be the best alternative for him.
That individual has no business serving on behalf of the people of Guam in a critical position such as director, and the answer is yes, he would be fired.
While Borja may be looked at as guilty in the court of public opinion, Gutierrez said, as a victim of what he calls media persecution himself, we should cut Borja some slack.
You're innocent till you're proven guilty. But you cannot go out there and ask somebody off the street, you're going to fire him when you don't know the entire story.
Rodriguez Jr. telling KUAM News he would, quote, fire Borja if he was governor. For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
A Guam National Guard helicopter crashes in Adelup Monday morning, but no need to panic. It was just an exercise by the Guam National Guard and local first responders preparing soldiers for the worst-case scenario.
The training went on as planned despite one local group's major opposition. Carmen Salahi reports.
Better safe than sorry With 3 soldiers on board, the UH-72 A Lakota helicopter simulated a crash at Adaloop, concluding days of National Guard training with an aviation pre-accident plan exercise. Major Josephine Blas, Public Affairs Officer for the Guam National Guard, says it's a first to physically train with local first responders.
So far, so good. I mean, we have a checklist, and so far, everybody's been doing what they need to do. Guam Fire came out as, first to respond to take care of our injured personnel on the ground, and so now we're just waiting for everybody else in the checklist to do their part.
The Guard recently under fire from local activist group Putehi Latexan, who sent a letter to Major Blas citing concerns that, quote, the Guam Army National Guard and Department of Defense did not seek public input or determine environmental impact of the training in civilian spaces. Major Blas responds.
I personally don't think that there was any environmental hazards, but if there are, that we're always taking those impacts into mind, and we'll make sure we don't contribute to any hazards or dangers in the community.
Don't be alarmed, it's just a drill. Major Blas says it's important to have these type of exercises in the community.
Having the exercise right here at Adaloop, where, in the middle of the village, right, in the middle of the, where everybody's at. I mean, that's exactly where we're going to be if there was going to be a rescue operation. So I think we need to have it in the community because that's who we serve.
Ultimately, the goal, train soldiers and first responders to ensure the safety of the people of Guam in any emergency. Reporting for Guam News Network, I'm Carmen Victoria Terlahi.
Stick around for more news here on Primetime.
You're watching KUAM.
There are more ways to experience KUAM News than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming with KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
A simple handshake. That's all Jake Calvo needed when he started his company. Today, 80 years later, we like to say thank you to all of you who have taken our hand in trust. Thank you to the dreamers. Thank you to the realists. Thank you to the family-oriented. Thank you to the entrepreneurial. Thank you to those climbing the corporate ladder. And to the ones starting a new life together. Thank you to the traditionalists and the edgy, to the young at heart and the old souls. Thank you to the daring, to the protective, to the practical. Thank you to the hopeful. To all of you from all of us, our deepest, happiest, and infinite thanks.
80 years here for you. 80 years thanks to you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
A strong economy depends on a strong middle class. Businesses need help to survive in these tough times, and new industries are needed. As your governor, I will propose tax cuts for small businesses. We will streamline government operations to create a more business-friendly environment. We will invest in infrastructure and in our people by expanding opportunities to learn much-needed trades. I'm in to help get us there, and I humbly ask for your vote.
And I approve this message.
In this divided world, there are still things that unite us. Great music, thrilling games, and the love for that perfect burger. Ruby Tuesday Guam, for the love of burgers menu. For a limited time, get an amazing burger for just $11.99. Lunchtime at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
We're celebrating our 135th anniversary today, both in the outlying regions on which we hub and also here in Guam itself. It means so much to our team here in Guam. It means a lot to us in the Matson management team, because what it says is we're here to stay. It's a real physical manifestation of our commitment to this region. It's so important that we hire locally, we develop talent locally, we train locally. What's been a wonderful addition to our approach there is that many of the people who started off in Guam have gone off into significant leadership roles elsewhere in the company.
This is our headquarters here in Guam in Micronesia. And when we talk about putting down our roots, it's not just doing business, it's about everything we do with our friends, our customers, and our employees. I believe that nobody can replicate what we do, and that's why we have such a great team and such a great service and why we're successful. This is our home, this is our life, and we're happy to make a difference in everyone else's life.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
Welcome back. The stage is set in Singapore for an unusually high-stakes summit between two world leaders. President Trump is meeting with North Korea's Kim Jong-un.
It will be the first time a U.S. president will meet face-to-face with a North Korean leader. Meg Oliver reports.
President Trump arrived in Singapore Sunday for his summit with North Korea's Kim Jong-un. After descending from Air Force One, Mr. Trump shook hands with local officials and told reporters that he felt very good about the upcoming talks. Kim had already arrived in Singapore. On Sunday, he met with its prime minister. Kim thanked him for hosting the summit, telling him, quote, "The entire world is watching."
It's a one-time shot.
The Trump administration has long said its goal is the complete denuclearization of the Korean peninsula.
I feel that Kim Jong-un wants to do something great for his people, and he has that opportunity, and he won't have that opportunity again.
The White House has recently sought to temper the public's expectations ahead of the summit.
It's going to take quite a while. This is a very complicated set of issues. And success can't be declared on the basis of a happy meeting.
Susan Rice was National Security Advisor under President Obama. She says others have cut deals with North Korea only to see them fail.
The problem is that at every turn, the North Koreans would make commitments and then break them. And we need to be mindful that that is, again, what might happen.
Mr. Trump is slated to meet with Kim on Tuesday at 9 a.m. in Singapore. That's 9 p.m. Monday in Washington.
And security for the summit is extremely tight as all available police and military personnel have been called in. The Singapore government is spending millions to host the historic meeting, but there is mixed reaction among the local citizens about the cost and relevance to them.
People are excited, of course, but the government is trying to trying very hard to explain to the people why we need to spend $20 million on Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump.
The country is spending too much money to actually open up this summit for the two. Suddenly you're spending so much to bring these two people in, so there must be a hidden agenda behind all this. So yeah, so it's like question and no answer.
For America to choose Singapore as a venue for such a summit, it just shows how trusted and how reliable we are.
Global attention will be focused on the tiny island nation, and the citizens we spoke to say their government is intent on presenting the best image possible.
After a controversial selection of finalists, the first of 4 candidates for UOG president makes his visit to the campus.
Dr. Thomas Kreis, currently a professor of English and former president of Pacific Lutheran University in Washington, takes on questions from the Triton community. Our Salome Vuki has more.
He's the first to step foot on campus. In spite of a petition to halt the presidential search where students cited concerns, 3 of the now 4 candidates are non-local. Dr. Thomas Kreis graduated from high school in the U.S. Virgin Islands and served for 22 years in the Air Force, retiring as a lieutenant colonel. As a professor, he dedicates his life to study early Caribbean culture.
When this opportunity came up, I thought immediately of it being attractive because I went to high school in the U.S. Virgin Islands. I paid a lot of attention to Guam as one of the territories, and I've been interested in the cultures of small island territories for my whole career.
When asked about KUAM's unique position, he says programs like Chamorro Studies set UOG apart and can attract interest from abroad.
Chamorro Studies, I think, is a very important signature program. I think everything to do with marine biology and climate science, environmental science, I think those are two such obvious things that matter.
Adding that his background can help manage scarce resources.
So I think it's important to have the mindset of a private institution in public institutions. So there are resources, there are ways of organizing a university that can be more efficient and be a little bit more nimble in the way of a private university. I think having some of that mindset is helpful.
Dr. Kreis envisions UOG creating a culture for continuing education, such as graduate programs. Participants were encouraged to send their thoughts on Dr. Kreis through an online survey open until Thursday. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Salome Vuki.
Forums for the other three candidates continue this week with Dr. Anita Borja Enriquez, the only local candidate set to answer questions Tuesday, 12:30 in the afternoon in the UOG Lecture Hall.
Recognition long overdue. 6 service members honored for their unselfish and heroic acts during the Vietnam War.
Yeah, this says they've finally been given the second highest award in the military, the Distinguished Service Cross Award.
Decades long after the war in Vietnam, another battle is won.
We're here to try to make fix something here to make it right.
Correcting the injustices for those from Guam and the Pacific that fought. Friends and family gathering at the Guam Congress building as senators presented each one with a resolution for their service and sacrifice.
I almost want to cry because these 6 men, they didn't go to war with a script. They went there with a mission. And you know what? The people beside them, the people in front and in back of them, all around them, there was no script. It was a mission. Some died and some came back. I'm very proud of those 6 individuals today.
The 6 having served in the Army included Martin Adam and Glotnia, Juan Ogo Blas, Vicente Taitano Didasco, Enrique Cruz, Tomas Garcia Regis, and Joseph Meno Perez. The family of the last 4 showing up to represent as their hero is recognized posthumously
for their valorous and heroic acts some 50 years ago. They were awarded the Distinguished Service Cross, the nation's second highest award, and each one is now being reviewed by the Army for possible upgrade to the Medal of Honor.
Retired Marine Corps Colonel Joaquin Santos Jr. worked tirelessly to ensure service members from Guam and the region get the recognition they deserve.
Fairness and justice must be applied equally among all valiant soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines who continue to exhibit unparalleled patriotism, devotion to duty, and loyalty to the United States of America, regardless of race, gender, religion, or ethnicity.
The stories of battle from each were also presented during the ceremony. They are stories told to honor and remember the dozens more that paid the ultimate sacrifice.
These men, all sons of Guam, young and in their formative years of their lives, did exactly that, placed their lives on the line above and beyond the call of duty.
Sports is next, but first, weather.
Smartphone Super Sale event. Enjoy huge savings on our most popular Samsung Galaxy smartphones. But this offer won't last long. So drop into a GTA store today.
It's a celebration at Cars Plus and Mighty. And during our Jeep Celebration event, you'll save thousands on every new Jeep in stock, like a new 2018 Compass. Save up to $3,750. Or save up to $4,000 on a new 2018 Cherokee. How about a new Renegade? Save up to $6,000. Plus, buy today and receive a Cars Plus value card, where you get 21 cents off per gallon at all Shell stations. Hurry in for our Jeep Celebration event, going on now at Cars Plus and Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
In this divided world, there are still things that unite us. Great music, thrilling games, and the love for that perfect burger. Ruby Tuesday Guam, for the love of burgers menu. For a limited time, get an amazing burger for just $11.99. Lunchtime at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. We get the show started tonight with golf highlights from the Pepsi Open held at the Starts Guam Golf Resort. Check it out. Congrats to all the teams that hit the links for the 2018 Pepsi Open. The tournament featured a 4-player team scramble Callaway system at the Starts Guam Golf Resort. Golfers were also able to track their scores through a live leaderboard with their smartphones. Cash prizes were given out to the top 3 teams for best net score and first place gross score winning team. All 4 winning teams shared over $5,000 in cash and prizes. Raffle prizes included 6 55-inch flat screen TVs, 2 iPhone 8 speakers, hotel and restaurant gift certificates, and more. Golfers enjoyed food provided by Tony Roma's, Capricciosa, California Pizza Kitchen, Hard Rock Cafe, Mescla, PIC, Guam Barbecue Company, and the Starts Guam Golf Resort. Pepsi Guam Bottling celebrated 50 years on Guam as part of anniversary activities. Funds from the golf tournament will go to supporting the Pepsi Green Project. The Pepsi Green Project's goal is to plant trees in the Marine Drive medians north of Airport Road. GHRA Basketball League Championship game last night at the Tumuning Gym. MVP facing ST Corp. ST Corp needing to win to force an if game. Chris Blas' corner jumper drops in for 2. MVP Shipley Villanueva put up 16 points. No JP Cruz, no problem. Ship hit 4 shots from the outside. Billy Belger creates his own shot here, dribbles right and pulls up at the free throw line for the bucket. 8 points on the night for Belger. MVP going to big man Gerard Jones, trailing through the lane wide open for the easy basket. 2 of his 22 points off the assist by Villanueva. Darren Hechanova gives it up to Merwin Martin. Martin picks up a screen set by teammate Gerald Connolly. Edgardo Baza to Chris Blas, who finds Alfredo Royster for the basket and one inside the paint. MVP took the championship trophy 76-60. Darren Hechanova led all scorers in the win with 26 points. In soccer news, Issa Whalen will be looking to make the soccer team for the University of Washington Huskies when she returns to Seattle. Whalen says playing college soccer was always something I wanted to do. Since arriving in Guam late last year, Whalen received news of her acceptance to University of Washington and an offer of a full academic scholarship to the NCAA Division I university. The 2018 UW women's soccer roster consists of 30 players, and out of the 30, 12 are incoming freshmen, and 4 are listed as redshirt sophomores or juniors, according to the university website. Whalen plans on majoring in marine biology at the University of Washington. The University of Guam men's basketball team signed a few more players to their 2018-2019 men's roster. Andrew A.J. Carlos, 5'9" guard, signed to return to the Tritons for his 4th season of competition. The team also signed Justin Lila Oys from Miami, Florida to a UOG athletic letter of intent to play basketball. He originally signed with William Penn University in Oskaloosa, but was redshirted as a freshman on a Statesman team that went 30-5 on the season and finished in the NAIA National Tournament semifinals. Well, that's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
A strong economy depends on a strong middle class. Businesses need help to survive in these tough times, and new industries are needed. As your governor, I will propose tax cuts for small businesses. We will streamline government operations to create a more business-friendly environment. We will invest in infrastructure and in our people by expanding opportunities to learn much-needed trades. I'm in to help get us there, and I humbly ask for your vote.
I'm Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Take heed. Taco Bell's Naked Chicken Chalupa Menace is back, along with a spicy new Wilder version, a.k.a. the Hot Daddy-O, a.k.a. the Flaming Phoenix, a.k.a. the Spicy Chicky Choop Choop. At least, that's what the youths call them.
I have literally never said Spicy Chicky Choop Choop before.
You just did, Jerry. You just did. So when it comes to Taco Bell's mild or wild naked chicken chalupas, heed my advice and say no to spice.
Brought to you by the Council for Eating Fried Chicken the same way you always have, and not Taco Bell.
Beat the increase at Triple J. Buy now before the sales tax starts. 0 down, 1.9% financing, and easy trade-in. Now is the time to buy. Get into a 2018 Mazda CX-5 at our lowest price yet, only $19,995. Or our big boy truck, the Ford F-150, starting at $298 per paycheck. Or the North American Car of the Year, the 2018 Honda Accord at only $206 per paycheck. Beat the increase and buy now at Triple J. Visit us online at triplejguam.com and get pre-approved instantly. Trade-ins welcome. Some conditions apply. Triple J Auto Group. Customers first.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shoutouts from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Happy birthday, Jesse Jr. Napa team. May you have more B-days to come. Enjoy your special day from your cousin Deborah. May God be with you always. And happy belated birthday to J-Boy Solace. Happy birthday, brother J-Boy, from your familia and friends in God's country.
Remember, you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. Please make sure to include your photo, your name, and the birthday.
And that's going to do it for us here in the news desk. Stay tuned. Andy's next with Extra.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E. All right, welcome to News Extra. I'm Andy Wheeler. Tonight we're talking to the mayor of Jigo, who's seeking your help on the Jigo March. Also, Denise Mendiola